This is a lesson meant for a first or second grade classroom on the parts of speech, such as nouns, verbs, and adjectives. The teacher will go over each and give the description and an example, and then the students will be able, by the end of the lesson, to also describe each effectively and differentiate between each one based on pictures. This is the first slide where students are learning information. The teacher will go over what a noun is and give the examples, such as a basketball is a noun because it is a thing. A chef is a noun because it is a person. The United States is a noun because it is a place, and a cat is a noun because it is also a thing. On this slide, the teacher will discuss verbs, first giving the definition and then going over the examples with her students, such as running is a verb because it is an action word, something you do. Reading is a verb because it is also something you do, something you can act out or perform, and as well as singing is a verb because it is also something you can do. This is the last informational slide the teacher will go over. It is on adjectives. The teacher first will explain what an adjective is, give the definition, and then go into the examples, such as temperature. When someone is feeling cold, that's an adjective. They're describing their feelings. And colors can also be adjectives. If something is red, then you're describing a quality of that object, or if something is blue, you're describing it also. This is the first interactive slide for the students. There are 3 different columns: nouns, adjectives, and verbs, and a bunch of different words at the bottom that each word falls into a different category. So the teacher will either call on students or have students raise their hand to come up and drag a word in the correct column. So if the student picks Paris, they would drag that into the nouns column because Paris is a place. And if a student were to pick scary, they would drag that in the adjectives column because scary is an adjective. It is describing something. And this helps the teacher understand how quickly the students process the information and if she needs to re-emphasize anything, or like how well they learned it by being able to differentiate between what word is an adjective, what word is a noun, or what word is a verb. This slide is also an interactive slide. There's a picture at the top of the screen, and students will come up and circle which part of speech they think the picture is. If the picture on the slide is pizza, then it obviously is a noun because it is a thing, and so the teacher is able to evaluate if the student is correctly able to identify an object and its part of speech. This is another interactive slide where there is a picture at the top and the students are able to come up and circle whether it is a noun, adjective, or verb. Now for this slide and the next slide, the teacher might have to explain exactly what the picture means because it can be hard to find a picture explaining an adjective or a verb. But in this photo, a kid is eating a hamburger. So the word for the student to identify its part of speech would be eating, which is a verb. Alright, on this slide there's a picture at the top, and the students will again have to circle whether it is a noun, adjective, or verb, and the teacher can either call on students or have students raise their hand and then call on them, or even have students break up into groups and decide in groups if it's a noun, adjective, or verb. However, he or she wants to let the students come up with the correct answer. And again, in this one, the teacher might have to explain that the photo is showing happy, like a smiley, happy face, and the students will decide what part of speech they think happy is, and of course, it is an adjective. It is describing something. Alright, so this is the last slide on the parts of speech presentation, and it is also an interactive slide, and it's just a, summary of what all they have learned, just so that they can end it with defining again the parts of speech, what a noun is, an adjective is, and a verb is. And the students will correctly write in what they think each one is. Or the teacher could have it be interactive where they click on the box and the box goes away in the word before it appears. However she wants, or he or she wants to evaluate the way students have learned. But it's just to be able to analyze the students' knowledge of what all they've learned in this process and the information they have gained.